Is that a video?
Yeah. Nice technique.
Like my technique?
Yeah.
So cute.
Officially, you're the first ones here. How does it feel to be early birds?
We're honored. Well, we walked all the way and we were older people.
You guys are in awesome shape.
Yeah.
It's a long walk.
Right? The pictures, nostalgia. And
This brings back so many memories.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
Good memories.
Yeah.
Very good ones.
The old days. Good people.
Your great-grandmother, grandfather alive.
his dad, my old father.
Alive.
Yeah, we sang.
Times together. Oh, lots of them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always looking ahead, but I have a lot of memories. I have a good mind. Remember quite a bit.
We used to have so many left.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Your grandfather
Has Uncle-
was a barrel of fun.
Eddie?
Eddie.
Yeah. Would he crack you up?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
He had a wonderful sense of humor.
I'm Ron, Noel's father.
Oh, okay.
That's and my wife Steffi.
Hello, hello. We're the couple, right, of the hour, right. And I don't have my wedding gown on for two reasons. One, it wouldn't fit, and two, my sister who got divorced cut it up in pieces. So, but we're so excited and happy to be here and to be together. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful.
Hi. Happy New Year. Oh, I mean, happy anniversary. Am I ready? You
Oh my goodness.
ready? Nobody realizes you're here.
Why aren't you in your wedding dress?
Because
Couldn't
Marsha
fit.
cut it up and it didn't fit. Thank you. I have to put this someplace.
I will put it someplace. Go say hi to everybody.
Oh, God.
Hello there, welcome. Welcome, mister. How are you?
I love your hair. It looks great.
Hey. Did you find it all right? Not a lot of traffic. You know who put out the pedals? Cindy! Yeah! You should thank Cindy.
I was thinking of wearing tux.
Is that good?
You've been waiting here for 2 days.
You're correct.
I thought it
Awesome. Let me give you a hug.
I remember everything.
I know. You saw us from the beginning. And some
Yeah, right on your phone.
Good. Thank you.
Mazel tov. Is this your original tux? Is that your original tux?
heard you put out pedals for us.
You look so handsome. Congratulations. Don't kiss.
Yeah, come say hi.
Hi, Allie. Guys, quick picture with Allie. Real quick. With Allie, okay. Hey. Hey.
Whichever.
Thank you. This is so nice.
Thank you. David.
Really great. I know, but that's really cool.
Thank you. Happy beautiful this is. This is Lindsay. Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, Steve, thank you for driving and driving. Where's Stacy?
Grab some food.
I thought he was in the bushes. Doing it.
Another wonderful time.
Only for you guys.
Did you bring this off?
Oh yeah.
What were your
Girls coming up too.
Squeeze in close. There we go.
Oh, this is the way to go. Thank you.
What'd you say?
Oh, she's over there.
Oh, thank you. I love your hair. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yes. Great.
Guys, let me still a quick picture. Both of you together.
Wait,
Okay, squeeze in there.
Was this yours?
Oh my goodness, you guys did so much. This is so beautiful.
This is my granddaughter, Janie. Best golfer in the nation.
Hi there. We came from Nashville, Tennessee. Can't wait to see Steffi and Ronnie.
But they don't know we're supposed to be here yet. So,
Happy anniversary.
We've known Ronnie and Steffi for more than 50 years. It's been a long time ago. There are things you can remember in 50 years, and there are things you can't. Thank you so much for inviting us, and we are delighted to be here.
White lakes and promises, a kiss for luck and we're on our way.
We've only begun.
Before the rising sun we fly, so many roads to choose. We start out walking and learn to run.
Speaking. Would like to welcome everybody to our home to celebrate this very important milestone for my parents, their 50th anniversary. You know, the usual, a lot of people came from far. I think the furthest was Martha and Fran and Mark from Florida. However, as of last week, Christian was supposed to come, but he fell off his bike, broke his shoulder, and needed surgery. I thought it was a lame excuse, but anyway. Before I really get going, I did want to, it'd be remiss not to give a big thank you to someone, and that's to my brother Andy for marrying Patsy. All of this beautiful furniture and setup was not just the idea of Patsy, but in fact her treat. So thank you very much. And as a little gift for Patsy, there's just something on the corner of the couch here. That's just for you.
Is that an inside joke? Is that an inside joke? You want to tell me?
If I could call up my parents now, Mom and Dad. Uh-oh, put down the food. This is going to take a while. Maybe if Dad, you could stand here, and Mom, you could stand there on the step right below me.
I can't hear.
Okay, and you together, you're a couple. You can hold hands. You do whatever you do. Now you look out here. I'd also like to call up the female members of the wedding party. For those who don't know, the flower girl, Cindy Lieben, née Bachner. If you'd be good enough to maybe stand in front of my mom there, low down, so that you don't look too tall. You have rose petals.
Heels on.
And the maiden of honor, matron, whatever, Marsha Cochin, née Greenberg. Née Wolf. And we thought it'd be, for our first toast of the evening, we thought it'd be especially nice to complete the wedding party with the gentleman who delivered the toast 50 years ago, in from Nashville, Tennessee, Larry Levine and his wife, Karen. I think that's supposed to come. No, stay there, stay there.
Oh, this is great.
I wouldn't have missed this for the whole world. I wouldn't have missed this for anything in the whole world.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
We wouldn't have missed this for nothing.
I can't believe that they even told you about it.
We know.
Been emailing us for a long time. This is the biggest surprise. This is such a surprise. This is wonderful.
I want to take pictures.
All right, okay. Okay.
Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. I have to stop talking. Look at me, look at me, look here.
Oh my God.
Everybody look here.
Come on. All right, okay.
Take your positions in the wedding party, and Larry, do your thing.
Remember me?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
How are you?
Sharing horizons that are new to
I
us.
have the car outside. We're driving back
Watching
there.
signs along the way. Talking it over, just the two of us. Working together day to day.
I want to tell you about Ronnie and Steffi. They are my oldest and best friends. I've known this guy since 1952. That's 60 years ago. Long before she knew him and long before I knew her. And I want to tell you, I have to tell the truth. She made a dumb mistake and she made a dumb mistake.
But we were the big gainers.
Wait a minute. I want to tell you what the mistake was. Ronnie and I roomed together at the University of Michigan. And Carolyn wasn't smart enough to contact Ronnie to find out what a lousy roommate I was. And Steffi, you did the same. And I want to tell you just one story about Ronnie and Steffi. Back a long time ago, most of you know that Ronnie worked on the Lunar Excursion Module. And when he did that, Carolyn and I were living in Nashville at the time. And while we were living in Nashville, the TV show started to show the Lunar Excursion Module landing. And two things happened. The first thing is I got on the phone with Ronnie to say to him, if the damn thing crashes, it's your fault and I want to be the first one to tell you. The second thing that happened is, in those days, you know, you didn't have a television in every couple of rooms, and we had a television in our living room, and we had just put in a brand new yellow carpet, but it was getting close to dinner time. So Kara and I ran in to watch the Lunar Excursion Module landing, and Kara had a great big pot roast in a pot in her hand. It was a brisket. It was a brisket. Sorry. Anyways. Anyway, when she just about got, the Lunar Excursion Module just about starts to land, Carolyn slightly tripped, and we had brisket all over our brand new yellow carpet. So now I want Ronnie and Steffi to pay me back for that carpet.
I'll do that.
Oh, that was great.
That was great.
All right, we are delighted to be
right.
All right, Kara wants to say something.
All right. So, Steffi and I may not have been the smartest because we should have contacted each other and found out about these guys, but she was the best thing Ronnie ever did in his whole life. We loved Steffi. We loved her as soon as we met her. And Larry and I want to thank your three wonderful sons and their families for this terrific party tonight. You've really got wonderful kids to do this for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Happy anniversary.
Since Larry had a story, I'll tell you a story.
All right, okay.
Larry and I used to drive back and forth to Michigan when we were in college. And it was a long drive through Pennsylvania, and the weather was really inclement and so on. And Larry was a very good conversationalist. So he got me into a conversation with who was the greatest scientist ever. Only Larry would think of that. So I decided, well, I would take Albert Einstein. Larry says to me, no, not Albert Einstein. Leonardo da Vinci. He was much, much better. And for the next 16 hours, we argued about that. And I had no problem staying awake. He kept me awake the full time.
I'm going to tell you something. In my pocket.
To continue that conversation while we all eat. Here's the first toast to Steffi and Ron.
Hey!
And here's a toast to my wife, Steffi. 50 years of bliss.
And when the evening comes,
I met Ron when they had that first house in Fort Salonga. I met Ron. I was just married to Fran. I came over to the house. We had a great afternoon. Found out how smart he was. I thought he was the smartest man I ever met in my life. He has hundreds and hundreds of questions. I answered every one of them and came back for more. I had a wonderful time, and I will never forget how warm and inviting Ron and Steffi were to me coming into the family. And I just had a great time. And it's 43 years later for me, and I still love them both with all my heart. And the families are great. They treat me nice. I came up from Florida just for this weekend, just for them. I'm going back on Tuesday. I love you guys. Many, many more. Love you. Bye.
Aunt Steph and Uncle Ron, we love you. You are the best. You've been there for me through thick and thin, and I appreciate being part of your family. Love you.
This is such a beautiful evening. I mean, put together so well. You guys look phenomenal. It's so nostalgic. It's so unbelievable. Makes you stop and really think about how much you need to appreciate life. We love you guys. You guys are the best.
It was Debbie and Brian's wedding, and Andy and I had been going out about 5 weeks, and your mother had just retired. And I was there with Andy, and I didn't even know if I liked him yet, but there I was at this wedding. And he brought me over to meet your parents, and he had a drink in his hand with me, and he introduced me to your mother and your father, and then your mother turned to me and she said, "He never drank till he met you." The truth is that I think your mother and I are a lot alike. And so we have a good time with each other. And, you know, we've gone away on vacations together. You know, when we're away, we've gone to town and shopping together. And we get along like girlfriends because we really are, in a lot of ways, very similar. So I find that to be kind of funny because when she does get on my nerves, I say, "You're on my nerves." But that's okay because she gets it. You know, she gets me and I get her, and I love her.
You can do that with good friends.
Yes, and your dad is just the nicest man. You know, what can you say about your dad other than, you know, he's a sweetheart, and he's very, very sweet and kind and patient and good, and you know, everything wonderful. It's easy to love your dad.
Hi, Steffi and Ron. I just want to wish you congratulations again. It's a great night, and I love you very much and wish you another 50 years together, and I'm killing Barry. Saving the leftover food. Saving the leftover food on the windowsill of the 35th floor of the hotel and watching it fall down to the people below. I love you both very, very, very much.
I love you guys so much, and I'm so happy to share this wonderful time in your life. I came into the family at your 25th wedding anniversary. It was when Noel and I were both graduating from college, and you had a dual celebration of Noel's graduation and your 25th anniversary celebration. So I'm so happy to be here to celebrate these 25 wonderful years that I've been part of the family with you. And I look up to you guys as a wonderful role model to keep a marriage alive, and so happy for you. I love you guys.
Are you going to make it to 50 year?
Oh, Noel and I'll definitely make it to 50. You don't have to worry about us.
Awesome. Good job. Out to you.
Very early memory with Steph and Ron and you guys was pumpkin picking. Going out to a farmer's market in a fall day. We've got some incredible pictures with the god-awful clothing that we were dressed in. But going pumpkin picking probably out in Smithtown. Try and say that 3 times fast.
Your parents are like a mother and father in a way to me, and grandparents to my kids. They're really present in our life, and they share in happy times and they share in sad times. And whenever I've needed someone to talk to, they've always been open and willing and understanding and have really been there for me. I remember when I first met your mother and your father. I came out to your house with David, and we had porcupine meatballs for dinner. There were these meatballs with rice in it, but the rice wasn't cooked. I never had that before.
Have you ever had it since?
And I've never had it since.
My mother made those?
Your mother made them.
I thought my Aunt Marcia invented that dish.
So did I, but Cheryl has a different memory, and unfortunately, she's usually right. How meaningful a role your mom plays in particular for continuity of the family. You know, I think about my grandmother, my grandfather, your parents, and how meaningful family was to them. And they had the family circle, and we don't really have that to the same degree anymore. And Aunt Steph plays a great role in as a memory server, as holding the family together. And again, I think that's understated as part of who she is. But again, very meaningful to us and how valuable family is. So thank you.
We love you so much. I hope you have another 25 great years together. Ron, slow down.
Uncle Ron, slow down.
Amen.
did that for your 50th anniversary. He doesn't do that for anything.
Nothing. Always, they make me cheerful, always. They're great to me, even when I don't feel good or I'm mad at something or someone, and they're always great to me, and I love that. Your dad is very patient, and that is great about him, otherwise...
Who's he patient with?
I'm in the middle of something.
I'm just wondering who he's patient with.
Everyone, especially Grandma. Yeah, he's patient, and that makes the whole marriage kind of stay. If he wasn't, it would be a madhouse all over the place. And my grandmother, and your mother, she's hype. She wants to do everything with my sister and myself, and it's great that she does that. It keeps their marriage flowing, I guess.
How do you feel when they come to your school and they see you doing your sports and things? How does it feel when they show up and cheer you on?
Well, my first instinct is it's embarrassing, but seeing them come and dedicate their time to watch me play is great, and I love that about them.
You know, they're probably your biggest fans.
I would think so. Well, you guys are great, and I wish for many more years to come. Happy 50th anniversary.
I feel absolutely delighted, and I know how much effort Stefan has put into this, because we would get calls at 11:30 at night to provide him with pictures for video. And Steffi and I would go running around the house trying to figure out where we could get these pictures. These are pictures that happened almost older than him, 40, 50 years ago. And so we look through all the pictures and we try to find them and provide them. But I guess the message I have is that how much I appreciate how much time and effort Stefan and my other two boys put into this so that we can have this anniversary party. And I feel really blessed to have great children, great grandchildren. I really have a fantastic life and a wonderful dream. They say that life is but a dream. That's what Shakespeare said. And in my case, I really believe that my dream has been blessed and with great memories. I couldn't have asked for much more. So thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Andy and all. And thanks for their wives and our grandchildren. I much appreciate it. All a question of accommodation. Mom has her personality, I have my personality, and as long as I can accommodate her and she can accommodate me in whatever we thought, that was great. I always told her if she had a problem with me, that we shouldn't go to bed mad at one another. We should talk it out, make sure we agree with one another, or at least come to an understanding. So that's one of the secrets. The other is, keep it light. They say something about small stuff. It's all small stuff, but it's the small stuff that comes together and makes a big picture. So that's, I'm feeling, I very much love Mom. I very much love you guys. And I think wonders of our whole family. They're here today to, celebrate. And it's just absolutely perfect as far as I can say. My dream really came true in terms of my life expectations. My job was great. My family held together and it was great. And I'm very proud of the Lord.
When I think about some of the love that emanates from Stefan and Ron, I think about them welcoming in Al to their lives. And certainly, my dad, I think, played an important part of their lives together, and how important it was for him, Mel, to feel like he was connected with Steffi and Ron. And probably the saddest thing of the divorce from Mom was not being part of this bigger family. But how welcoming you guys were to Al, to bring him into your lives, and not as a replacement for Mel, but to treat him with the loving kindness and the specialness that he deserved. I like to think that I had two fathers as I kind of went through life, And it's so meaningful for me that you were able to take him in his part and make it feel just like, another part of Mom. So thank you for that, and for that part, and for everything else. We just love you very much, and just happy to be part of your lives.
We love you, Grandma Steffi and Grandpa Ron. My kids love you. You're like family to us, even though we're not even related at all. But we feel like we're family, and you've always treated us like family, and we wish you all the best. We can't believe you've been married 50 years, and I don't know if anybody said it yet, so Jeff will say it. What does it feel like?
50 minutes.
Underwater.
That's all I'm allowed to say.
This is the anniversary girl, my sister. I was her matron of honor, and Ron also. And we had a wonderful time. I got drunk. I beat Ron up. When we came back to the house, he was taking my sister away from me.
And Marcia said, and crying, there are only 3 toothbrushes in the toothbrush holder now. Don't take my sister away.
But we have a lot of years together. She was my older sister.
Oh, did you say that?
Yeah.
I'm the younger one.
She lies.
Stand behind the camera. Pretend like my mom's standing behind the camera. Tell us what it was like sharing a room with her.
Oh, it was wonderful for me.
Tell us the truth, though. Don't be lying.
It was wonderful for me. I stole all her clothes and I put them under the bed. And she would ask me where her sweater was, and I would say, no.
How was my mom's taste in clothing different than your own?
Oh, it was very different. Your mom liked, I don't know, I was more of a conventional.
And I was to say a hippie. Was that before the hippie days?
No.
Oh, I was a snow.
My mom bought the expensive clothing you once told me.
She did.
And you bought quantity?
I bought quantity and not quality. But she had quantity.
Let me get off
No,
the
she
camera.
had quality. And we love each other very much. We've been there for each other forever.
Right, and we've really become best friends since I went away to college. I guess that was a relief for you, Marcia, right?
No, I think it was since you married Ron.
Right. And Marcia was absolutely wonderful with Ron. She treated him really as a brother. And more than that, Ron and Marcia would sound alike. And Marcia would take Ron's phone calls and say all these lovey-dovey things to him.
He would say, I love you, and I would say, that's so nice. I love you too. He thought he was talking to Stephanie.
Right. And Marcia would bring Ron chocolate blackout cakes from Ron's favorite bakery.
Ebbingers.
And sometimes I thought Ron loved Marcia more than he loved me because of the chocolate.
There could be a reason.
But as adults, we really love each other. And
We do.
And it's just, I wouldn't trade her for the world.
You guys went on a lot of vacations together.
Oh, we did with my Al and Steffi and Ron. We went to France, to Paris.
Right, we celebrated Marcia's son, David and Cheryl's wedding by going to Paris and the Loire Valley, and we drank a lot of wine in the Loire.
Did we ever?
Masha, what was it seriously like between you and my father coordinating the trip versus Al and my mom?
Oh, it was no problem. Your father and I coordinated the trip. When Mommy and Al decided to take over, they did nothing.
Right, we made jokes. We were the funny part of the team. But we had wonderful memories. We miss Al a lot. He was really hit tonight.
He is.
Marcia made a wonderful choice on Al, and he really became our brother. And Thank you for giving us a breakfast.
Well, you gave me one too.
Hey guys, what was it like on New Year's with Mosh and Al and you and Daddy in New York City with Cindy and Barry?
Do you remember New York City?
What was your favorite memory of those times?
The food, the potato salad and coleslaw on the windowsill of the Pennsylvania Hotel. Tell them what phone number.
Well, Pennsylvania 5. We ran out of refrigerator space, so we ordered hundreds of dollars worth of food from a Second Avenue deli, and we had to store it on the windowsill. And the poor people underneath who sometimes got hit with a pickle or you never know what. But they were very special years, and it was wonderful.
They were with Barry and Cindy and the whole Liebing group.
Right, and then as our kids grew up, they came to spend New Year's Eve with us, and we could hear the roar of the crowd down without being part of the crowd. But we had our own crowd. We made enough noise.
You can see that here today.
Masha, can you speak for Al for a moment, the best you can? Can you
Can
say
I what?
Can you speak for Al the best you can with this question? Can you tell us what you think Al would say that he liked most about hanging out with my parents on New Year's?
He would say, this is the best.
The food is incredible. We're having a wonderful time. Ron, stop telling me what to do and stop saying that you know a little more than I do, because you really don't. And mostly we would hear Al's wonderful laugh.
He was very boisterous.
He was the best. He was a very large presence in our lives. And we miss him. Oh, come on, Uncle Arthur.
I just want to know, these two people know each other.
And I think we know you.
And what was that, an apple martini?
An apple martini.
Martini, the green apple martini.
And Uncle Arthur is our baby uncle. He's our mother's youngest brother. And we're so lucky that he's with us.
Correct.
He and Ansel.
And Hauptman is innocent because Marshall and Steffi are Lindbergh babies.
Arthur, how do you feel about my mom and Marsha?
About Mom and Marsha?
How do you feel about those two ladies next to you?
Like they're my favorite nieces.
Why? What do you like
Why?
best?
Because I was brought up, Steffi, I know was born when I was still around the house.
No, you were in the service.
No, I went into service afterwards.
Oh.
You were born while I was in service.
Okay.
So I came back to a squalling, crying infant.
Marsha,
I stopped crying.
No, they're
since
two
I'm older.
lovable nieces, and I spent most of my post-formative years with them before I got married.
I'm Jamie, and I love Aunt Stephanie and Uncle Ron, and I'm really, really happy they were there last month to celebrate my bat mitzvah with me. We had a really good time, and I love you. Happy anniversary.
I want to go far away.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Steffi Flo and Pa Ron, two of my favorites. You're the best. Wish you everything, only good stuff, and you're there for everybody. We'll always be there for you. We love you guys.
Steffi was teaching in a school in Hempstead, New York, and I had a new job as the speech therapist there, and we met in the teacher's lunchroom one day, started to talk, found out that we had both just been married in July, and we hit it off. And we decided if we were going to be friends, we better introduce our husbands to each other, to each other. And we all loved each other immediately, and we've been friends now for 15 years. Steffi's the warmest, most wonderful friend I have ever had. I treasure her friendship, and she's been there for me through thick and thin, and I hope that I have been there for her too. We always just had a lot of fun. We laughed a lot. We just seemed to clicked really well. Our kids liked each other, right? We had the most wonderful New Year's Eve celebrations for many, many years until our kids realized they were getting too old to celebrate with the old guys. But we would get together, we would let Ron pick out a movie, which was always a Pink Panther movie.
Or the ventriloquist when I saw an R-rated movie and had nightmares for the rest of my life.
Right, and then we go back to one of our houses and make ice cream sundaes, and our kids thought it was the most wonderful, wonderful way to celebrate.
Didn't we go to a place called Zips? Remember that, where you make your own sundaes? What was that all about?
I don't remember that. But we did have a wonderful 40th birthday celebration for Ron and Mike. Steffi and I rented out a McDonald's, and we made the guys, we put blindfolds on them, and we brought them to McDonald's, and our kids were all there with their shirts saying happy birthday, and we had a really terrific time. We had a lot of fun times.
How did you guys come up with that idea?
I have no idea. Well, the guys were acting very immature about becoming 40. They were really upset about it, so we decided to treat them like children.
I fell into Drilling's pool when I was probably 5 years old, before I could swim, before I could tread water. I was leaning over the deep end, and the Drillings weren't there. They were kind enough to lend us their pool. And, my father jumped in the pool with his clothes on and his sneakers on. I don't know if he had his glasses on, and saved my life. And I remember, for the only time in my life, I actually had my eyes open underwater.
Really?
And I remember looking at your pool light during the daytime and not even being afraid. But I would have died if it wasn't for my father jumping in with his clothes and swimming across the pool at record pace.
Well, I'm certainly glad you didn't drown in my pool.
Glad you didn't hear about that story until now. Maybe you wouldn't have lent us the pool.
Right. I think Steffi and Ron, I love you dearly. I would do anything in the world for you, because I really feel you would always be there for me, as you have been. What can I say? You're part of me. You really are part of me. And I love you.
All right, here we go.
Okay, now's the time to get a good seat.
Was it the best motzi you ever heard?
I'm doing the motzi. This is the highlight of the evening right here.
Here we go. Here we go. Holy!
Yeah. Where are my parents? Ma, quit talking.
Sounds a little bit like Clay. No, do it like Clay would do.
Hey, Dad, why don't you sit over here?
Right here. No, that's good.
Okay.
No, make everyone put their cell phones in the box.
Yeah. Please put your cell phone on silent.
Where are we supposed to go?
You can stay next to Care over there. Okay. I've had a little too much to drink, so I have to refer to my notes. But anyway, a few weeks ago, when I knew I had to give this toast, I was thinking about what to say. And after dinner one night, when my parents were over, it was just my dad and I. We were seated at the dinner table with coffee and dessert. And I asked him, I said, Dad, 50 years, that's really impressive. What was your key? And he looks down and he's stirring his coffee. Time's going on. I said, Dad? He looks like, pardon me, are you talking to me? So anyway, that's my dad. So he did say, he said, well, one of the keys was you could gather from one of the first trips we had when we were married. We went to the Grand Canyon, and that's when Steffi was more adventurous. And I convinced her to take a mule ride down to the bottom of the canyon. And so we're on the mules, and we're going down the canyon. And not too long after we start, her mule loses her footing for a second. And, my mom looks down at 3,000 feet, takes a deep breath, kind of looks at the mule, says to the mule, that's one. So I go a little bit further, and the mule stumbles again. Mom looks at the mule, that's two. A little bit further, mule slips for a third time. My mom, out of the Louis Vuitton purse, takes a gun, shoots the mule right in the head. My dad says, "What the hell are you doing, Steffi? You're crazy." She looks at him and says, "That's one." So that was the key to their marriage. In any case, on a more serious note, a true story. This one really is true. Before Lori and I were married, and I was contemplating whether to ask Lori to marry me, I had asked my dad what. We were only dating for a few months. It was a short courtship. Yeah. Anyway, so I asked him. I said, you know, how do you know? How do you know that it's right? You know, I don't want to have to go through this, you know, more than once. So he says, you know, yeah, all right. I said, you know, I obviously love her. We're compatible. And what do you think? And he said, well, you know, he says, you never really know. He said, you obviously love each other. You obviously are compatible now, but you know, if you were to get married, you know, when you get engaged, your life changes. When you get married, your life changes. You move into a new house, your life changes. You have children, your life changes. You get a job, your life changes. You lose your job, your life changes. He said, you know, the real thing is, you know, you're both committed to having a marriage together that works. And if you're committed, it'll work. And, you know, I look at my parents after 50 years, and they're committed in at least one sense of the word. But I do think they embody that commitment, and it's a great example that they have for all of us. And, you know, I'm very proud of them and thank them for that. As a final kind of note, you know, I think when I know we've all done it, we take stock of our lives and kind of think about things, we know that it's not really how much we've accumulated that's that important, or really what status we've achieved or achievements we've made or even things we've tried to achieve, but what really is the measure is the people that we've touched. And I know that we're all blessed to be, you know, touched by my parents. And you know, with that, I know Stefan's going to show his video tribute, which we'll share some of that. So here's to 50 wonderful years, and thank you. And now for an important announcement after I drink. I'm going to go inside and watch a video that Stefan put together. I had him edit it down to 2 hours, so it's not that long, but it's going to be a little tight in there, so we have some seating rules. If you're over 55 or 60, you get couch space. Okay? Yes. I don't know. Let's say 55 or over, you get couch space. But you're going to have to snuggle. The couch isn't that big, so you're going to have to snuggle. Okay, if you're under 18 or you do yoga, you're on the floor in front, Indian style. Other than that, there are a few chairs strewn about, or you could stand up.
Move the camera.
Everybody look over here. Cheese. Big smiles. Okay. Everybody point this way. He's not looking. Guys, that look this way. Everybody look up here. No, don't point. You have to look. You can smell it first. Big smiles. No barbers. Here we go. Oh, wait, I have to take off my glasses. Too late. Can you see my...
10-minute speech right now is going to be sent through the video. I just wanted to say that most people get to know their parents their first 15 or 20 years of life. Fortunately, I got to know my parents when I moved back in with them when I was 40 years old. A lot of people would be too embarrassed to admit that, but I really, things happen, I guess, for a reason. I got to see a different side of my parents, and we got to spend a lot of time watching movies and going out to the beach and dilly-dallying around while I pretended to get my business together. But it was really nice.
You're fine at what you do.
But I can't think of. I really appreciate the support that I've gotten from my folks throughout my whole life, but especially when I got older in life, and could really appreciate it. So I hope this video touches everybody here, especially you guys. And I actually made 3 videos. Noel said to keep it to 10 minutes, so my first video is 2 minutes. Of my Aunt Selma and Uncle Arthur telling a little story about my mom. And then the next video is the main video. And then if you have any energy later on, after dessert, come back for 5 more minutes. There's a lot of people that didn't make it here tonight that want to say some more greetings that I couldn't get into the video. So I hope you enjoy it.
Steffi looks so good.
Had so much in common, even family can be strange. First came life in a large wedding, then came a lady's chair. When it comes to the son, his questions reveal he's up there. Lori Jackson, the first boy, then girls, then Jillian and Jordana really rocked your words. Darling Jamie came to check, gets to keep the Boylan name on track. Steffi, she loves to feed her loved ones nothing food or run slow down. Something's around gonna change. She likes to threaten and hopes that he listens. Occasionally, that's what he does. And despite reflexes between the sexes, Slow-Mo and Ron are deeply in love. And love is not in isolation. They can't help but feel and reach out. Cause friends and family are so dear, and they're worth their lives out. And the New York Philharmonic, how you love to see them play. But it's not just time for memories, there's still so much left to share. Even Tanglewood is doable when bringing along sand chairs. You've been best friends now for 50 toast you and give 3 cheers. Happy golden anniversary. May you have many years left to love and ski. Now you're leaving town, your place.
Okay, what have I learned from my grandparents? For my bat mitzvah gift, Grandma and Grandpa brought me a cruise vacation. In giving me this gift, you taught me, in giving me this gift, you gave me, it could be a win-win, actually a win-win-win. I loved the gift, especially being able to spend time with Grandma, Tanta Marcia, and Rachel. Grandma, you love the gift because you got a vacation out of it. And Grandpa loved the gift because he got a week away from not having to hear Grandma yell, "Slow down, Ron." But seriously, Grandma, I'm putting this. But seriously, Grandma, you taught me on the cruise that it is possible to have tons of fun, even with 2 wild teenagers to look after on a cruise ship. Both you and Grandpa always know how to have fun and love sharing, and I love sharing time with both of you.
My Jordy. This is my Jordy. Oh.
That's her Jordy.
That's Jordy. In case everyone didn't know.
That's not mine, that's our Jordy.
Is it your Jordy?
Okay. What have I learned from my grandparents? Well, now that I'm 16 and starting to drive a car, I've learned the slow down run spiel that you all know. And I've learned that when someone's in the passenger seat talking to me, I just pretend not to listen. Because that's always how it works out. From Grandpa, I've learned that it's possible to drive in a car with someone in the passenger seat, always gasping for air, acting like we're going to crash in 2 seconds, and holding onto the car seat without getting into a car accident, thank God. But seriously, I think besides Grandma being so nervous all the time, she's taught all of us that it's really important to be safe, and she cares so much about us, and that's what I love about both of them, that they care so much about everyone, and they love all of you here, and they love all of us, so, yeah.
Jelly.
Jack goes fast.
Go, Jack.
I'm standing
Go,
over
Jack.
here.
Jack.
Go,
Jack.
Jack.
All right. The big voice, Jack.
This is kind of hard. All right. I guess you could say that I started math at a very young age. Did anyone know that a grape could be cut into 8s? I was probably 9 years old by the time I graduated to 4ths. This just might kill Grandma, but Grandma, watch this.
Need a grape all by himself.
Oh, I cut all his grapes into many pieces.
Andy's grapes. Andy's grapes too.
And mine too, right?
Okay. My math lessons continue with Grandpa's forgetful math, especially useful on the golf course. Let me just say, by the time I'm 14, I'll be shooting par. Here's a number to throw out there, 50. I feel so fortunate to be here to help you celebrate your 50th wedding anniversary. Even though I make fun of you guys sometimes, you guys rock.
Jack's the man. I'll hold the mic and you hold this. I got the mic. All I can say is, I'm glad I did not learn my cooking skills from Grandma. I have a sophisticated palate, and a Philadelphia cream cheese sandwich just doesn't cut it. One thing we agree on, Grandma is the best at reservations. Thank God Grandpa is easy and has the patience of a saint. It not only works for Grandma, but it works well for me and Jack. Thank you for spending so much time playing with us. We really love all of that time together. Happy?
Happy 50th, that is a lot.
That is a lot.
Way to go,
Sorry about the mic. Okay, I think I'm the final toast of the evening, and I'll keep it brief as well. I just wanted to oh, sorry, a little closer, is that better? I just wanted to say thank everybody for coming. It's been a tremendous evening. Stefan, you did a fantastic job on the video.
Yes.
I don't think there are words, to say better everything that came out in that video. It obviously means a lot to all of us to share this special occasion with the many people that have been so close to our parents for so many years. As you all know, my parents have a very special marriage. This is in large part based upon their deep commitment to each other and their unending levels of patience. Okay, maybe my dad has the upper hand on this. I will say that I did not coordinate my speech with Noel at all, and I thought it was pretty funny that we both talked about commitment there. But anyway, the truth is that they have what most couples always strive for, a friendship that has passed the test of time. We should all be so lucky to find a life partner the way my parents have in each other. And while we all gather here to celebrate Steffi and Ron's 50th, I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge another special 50th, my wife's very special upcoming birthday. Happy birthday, honey. And for that, I'm sorry for bringing you up. Anyway, let's all raise our glasses. Say congratulations to Steffi and Ron, Mom and Dad.
I realize that.
And here's to 50 more. Okay, eat some dessert. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. One last thing. I think my mom and dad want to address everybody, so here goes.
I need my Lululemon.
I shove my cake in your face, get 100 up.
First of all, thank you all for coming.
Listen up.
You are all so special and such a part of our lives, and you're the best, and we thank you. And Ron and I have some thank yous for each other. Ron, thank you for letting me choose your clothes.
Steffi, thank you for making my clothes match, reminding me to wear both shoes of the same color.
Thank you in 50 years, my darling, for never having to change the vacuum cleaner bag.
Steffi, thank you for never changing the vacuum cleaner bags and breaking the vacuum cleaner in the process, so I have to fix it.
Thank you for taking me out to dinner every day that ends with a Y.
Thank you for not asking me to buy a Wolf professional oven for you to cook dinner in.
Thank you for teaching me how to ski.
Thank you for never getting good enough at skiing to get off the novice trails. Now I can ski as fast as I want on the more advanced trails without you telling me to slow down.
Thank you, Ron, for following and rescuing me during a blinding snowstorm in Saratoga while we were engaged, after I bolted from the car in anger during a heated discussion.
Thank you for sharing your perspective on British education versus American education on that snowy day.
Thank you for ignoring my continuous requests in the car to slow down. We would still be on our way home from Stefan's college graduation if you hadn't.
Steffi, you said slow down? I never heard a word of that.
Ron, thank you for being so patient and sitting on so many benches in so many malls while I shop.
Steffi, thank you for giving me so much free time to sit and read.
Thank you for needing me to be your ears when you have trouble hearing.
Thank you for sometimes being my ears. But why do you also have to be my mouth?
Thank you for all your positive suggestions and corrections on the golf course.
Thank you for letting me live my fantasy of being a golf instructor.
Thank you, Brian, for recapping every page of a book you're reading, so I know the ending in advance.
Steffi, why would you want to read the book anyway? I already told you the ending.
And talking about endings, some might call this time for Ron and I the final chapter, but I say we've only just begun. We're moving on, both literally and figuratively. Meadowbrook Point beckons. After 43 years, it's time. It's our time to continue to laugh, sing, read, and argue, but in a different setting and maybe with some new friends. I'm a little nervous and a lot excited. As long as I have my Ron, my love, my best friend, and my real life Jack Bauer, everything will be okay.
I have to tell you, and this is really from the heart, that Steffi's my best friend. She's the best companion a guy can have. I owe my whole life and my dreams to a great deal to her. I guess it was Shakespeare that said life is but a dream, and I kind of believe that. I've had an absolutely wonderful dream. I've got a wife that I love and supports me and gives me confidence to do the things that I like to do. And she's a great companion. And all of the people here, I guess if it weren't for Steffi, at least that's how I feel, because she's the social director of our family. Everyone knows that she keeps us all together. And that's a special, I guess, talent that she has and I really love. So thank you all for coming. This is a great anniversary. This is one of my best dreams.
Thank you to our wonderful boys, our wonderful children.
Especially me, right?
And for bringing our beautiful Lori and our beautiful Patsy to us, the girls of our life. And our 3 granddaughters and our darling Jack to carry on the Boylan name. We are so lucky. We're not religious, but we count our blessings every day. So thank you all.
Thank you.